We've talked about real estate. We've talked about protected income value to triple your retirement income and this concept of the personal pension. And now let's talk about uninterrupted compounding interest and leverage, our third and final strategy to triple your retirement income. Okay, here's the problem. The problem is that we've all gotten into the habit of saving and spending. You saved maybe for your first car. Maybe you saved for a down payment on your house. Maybe you saved for your kids' college and paid cash for college. And maybe you're saving for retirement and you're planning on spending the money on retirement. Yes, we talked about the 4% rule and the way to kind of fix that, but you're still interrupting the compounding interest. We know compounding interest works best over time. So we need to let the money grow over time, uninterrupted. So we have our money in the 4% rule. We grow and then we spend it. But by spending it, 4% in retirement, what we've done is we've killed the growth. That's the biggest problem with the 4% rule is we've killed that compounding interest. Okay? So this is a new way, okay? A new way to save and pay for retirement. Now think about this for a minute. What if you could use your retirement savings as collateral, kind of like using a house as collateral or a car as collateral? What if you could use your retirement savings as collateral and borrow money for retirement? Now, I know most people's brains just exploded when I said that, right? Borrow money for retirement for less interest than you could earn on your retirement savings. It looks like this little chart right here. What if you could allow your money to continue to compound interest, use it as collateral, and borrow the money for retirement at a lower interest rate? And what if you weren't required to make any loan payments? So your loans would just compound interest, but as long as they're compounding interest at a lower rate than your retirement savings, you benefit from a 1% at least, maybe 2, maybe 3% positive spread, and all of your money keeps compounding all the way through retirement. No matter how old you are, whether you're already in retirement or whether you're just starting and you just graduated college and you're looking at a retirement plan, what if you could allow that money to compound interest the rest of your life? And this is really going to blow your mind, so you might want to sit down for this one. What if you could borrow money from the bank to save for retirement at a lower interest rate than you could earn on your retirement savings? How crazy is that? Okay? What if the bank would loan you money to save for retirement? How cool is that? Now, we're going to talk about two different strategies here. We're going to talk about with the bank and without the bank. Let's talk about without the bank first. Okay? We'll work up to that one. Okay? I want to set the stage a little bit with this article that came out about the secret trove of these wealthy people that weren't paying their fair share in taxes, and everyone reposted it. It was all over the internet. And they talked about how Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and Michael Bloomberg and Elon Musk were not paying their fair share in taxes. Now, of course, many people were very upset to find out that the ultra wealthy were not paying their fair share in taxes. But what I thought was interesting about this article was how. How are they doing it? And what can we learn from the wealthy? Well, here we have some Amazon stock and some Tesla stock. And in the article, it says that their wealth derives from the skyrocketing value of their assets. I call that uninterrupted compounding interest. Those gains, okay, are not defined by U.S. laws as taxable income unless and until the billionaires sell. if they never sell those assets, they could leave those assets behind to their kids in what we call a step up in basis, just like the real estate. Same as the real estate. If you have stocks and you let your stocks grow the rest of your life and you leave your stocks to your kids, then they get what they call a step up in basis. Now, how in the world, do these mega billionaires pay their mega bills while paying themselves dollar salaries so they don't have to pay a lot of income taxes and hanging on to their stocks? How are you going to live in retirement if you hang on to your stocks? Well, according to the public documents and experts, the answer for some is borrowing money. Lots of it. Crazy, isn't it? But yes, the wealthy understand the benefits of borrowing money. Now, here was a funny video that I saw on Instagram. Actually, somebody sent it to me, and I don't really even know who this person is. I'm not necessarily, endorsing what he is saying, but it's kind of funny in a very short little clip about what he says about borrowing money and how the wealthy think about money a lot differently.
Why do you hate Dave Ramsey?
I don't hate Dave Ramsey. I just hate everything he teaches. He's teaching people to be poor because he wants them to take their 40 years of time that they have to make money, and he wants to donate it to getting out of debt and paying crap off. You can't eat no debt. You can't travel on no debt. There's a flaw in the practice. Everything is about eliminating debt. If you have credit cards that are like at 18, 19, 20%, you should probably get those eliminated. But when people have most moderate debts at 4, 5, 6%, and you fire people up in a frenzy to, oh my gosh, hurry, you shouldn't be able to sleep at night, get your debts paid off as if the world's worst thing. It's called positive arbitrage. I borrow money at 5% all day long and get it making 20%, 30%, 1,000%. And when I borrow at 5 and I'm earning 20, the difference is 15. I'm making 15 on debt. That is a productive debt. It is a good debt. That debt makes me money. And Dave just wants to act like all debt's bad. I'm like, no. Consumer debt is bad, but debt is what this country is built on. Debt is what the wealthy are built on. Debt is about controlling money to make money. And that has fallen on deaf ears in his community.
So should I pay off my house?
Never.
Okay, now, again, I don't have an issue with Dave Ramsey. I'm not endorsing or saying anything about this other than it's a very interesting way of thinking that goes totally against everything that we've ever been taught. Now, I want to ask you this question. Do you think your income is common or uncommon? Let's take a look at what I call the income game. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute, and I want you to think, you could pause the video and answer these questions if you would like to play this game. But how much do you think you would have to make in this country to be in the top half wealthiest people in the country? So the top half wealthiest people in the country, how much do you think you would have to make? How about the top 25%? How much do you think you would have to make combined? This is adjusted gross income combined in your household. Husband, wife, the whole household. How much would you have to make to be in the top 25% of this country? Or the top 10? Or the top 5? Or the top 1? Go ahead and pause the video, take a guess. And while you're at it, you could also guess how much they all pay in taxes. All right, now let's take a look. Would you be surprised to find out that it only takes $42,000 a year combined household income to put you in the top half wealthiest people in the country? Okay? How about $85,000 to be in the top 25%, or $152,000 to be in the top 10, and $220,000 put you in the top 5, and drum roll please, $548,000 put you in the top 1% wealthiest people in the country. So where are you? Are you at least in the top 25% of the country? Here's why I bring this up, is because if you are in the bottom half of the country, you should probably listen to Dave Ramsey and do everything he says. You should get out of debt. You should stay out of debt. You should probably work the rest of your life because you're probably not going to be able to save enough money to retire. You better love what you're doing. But if you are in the top at least 25% of the country, or if you want to be in the top 25% of the country. You need to think like not only the top 1%, I'm going to argue like the top 0.1%. It's the top 0.1% that really understands some of these financial strategies. I've talked to tons of clients in the top 1% that don't understand some of these financial strategies. And this does play in, of course, to our tax conversation that we've talked about as well, because the top 1% is definitely carrying the load, all right? And between the top 25%, 88% of all the taxes are paid by the top 25%. That could also be something to think about when it comes to whether or not you think taxes are going to go up or down in the future. If you think you're going to be broke in the future and you don't need to worry about taxes going up, you might want to think again, because you're probably in a higher percentage than you think. And you are probably what they consider to be wealthy, and you may be paying a lot of the taxes.